Section 11.1, Measures of Center and Variation. We are moving into the statistics part of this Algebra 1 course, and so we're going to see things that look a lot different than anything else we've done this year. We're going to start by talking about measures of center. Those are measures that represent the center or typical value of a data set. And there are three terms here, the three M's, that you've probably used before and probably are familiar with. We have mean, median, and mode. So we can talk about each of these and how to find them. First, we have the mean, or average. The mean is calculated by finding the sum of the data divided by the number of data values. Another way of saying this is add up all the numbers and divide by the number of pieces that there are. This is often written as an X with a bar on top, read as X bar. And this is just a way to represent it. We are adding up all the different values from a data set. These represent all the different numbers. This ... means that you would continue until you cover all of them. And then you divide by the number that there is. And that's how you calculate the mean, or the average. Up next, we have the median, which is found by determining the middle number when the values are written in numerical order. When a data set has an even number of values, you won't be able to find the exact middle number, so you'll find the median by determining the mean of the two middle values. So you'll go to the middle and find the two values, add them up, and divide by 2. So the median is just the number that's right in the middle. With an odd number, it's pretty easy to find. With an even number of data points, it's just one extra step. And finally, we have the mode, which is the value or values that occur most often. You can remember that mode starts with MO, which should be corresponding to most often. And there may be one mode, no mode, or more than one mode. If everything appears the same number of times, we wouldn't say that everything is the mode, we'd just say that there's no mode. But there can be multiple modes depending on the data. So these are the three measures of center, and let's try to calculate these based on some real-life numbers. So this is Stephen Curry. He's a point guard for the Golden State Warriors, and the numbers represent the number of points scored in each of the 15 games that he played of the 2015 Western Conference playoffs. And I'd like to use that data to determine the mean, median, and mode of his scoring. Now, in order to do this, at least in order to do the median, and what would help with the mode, would be to put this data in a convenient order. We'd like to write it in numerical order going from least to greatest. So before we do anything else, let's start with that. So, written in increasing numerical order, we can see that Steph Curry had games where he scored 18, 19, 22 twice, 23 twice, 26, 32, 33 twice, 34 twice, 39, and 40 twice. That many points in his 15 games so far in the playoffs this year. So now we can figure out these three measures of center. We'll start off with the one that involves the most calculation, which would be the mean. Now remember that to determine the mean, which is also known as X bar, we would have to figure out the total number of points and divide that by the total number of games, which is the number of data points. So using a calculator or doing it out by hand, we can figure out the sum of all the points that Steph Curry has scored and divide it by the 15 games that he's played. And when we do that, we find out that he scored 438 total points in 15 games, which gives him a mean of 29.2 points per game. Now, in this case, the division terminates at 29.2. And in many cases, it will be something that we'd have to round, and you'd look for the directions or just a reasonable answer in that case. So you could round this to about 29 points per game, but 29.2 is the exact mean. All right, let's next take a look at median. The median, which is the middle number of the data set written in numerical order, is pretty easy to find here because we have 15 data points, which is an odd number, so we're just going to search for the middle number. So from left and right, we're both going to come in same number of times. So 18 and 40 is matching up, 19 and 40, 22 and 39, 22 and 34, 23 and 34, 23 and 33, 26 and 33, which leaves me with a median right in the middle of 32. And fortunately, I was able to just figure that out pretty easily. And so now we have our second measure of center. And finally, let's discuss the mode. The mode is just whichever data points appear most often, if there's anything that appears more than anything else. And there are a couple of examples here, more than a couple. You'll notice that there are 222s, 223s, 233s, 234s, and 240s. Everything else shows up once. So as a matter of fact, these are all different modes for our Stephen Curry's scoring. So this is one scenario in which we actually have 5 modes, which is probably pretty uncommon, but that's what the data tells us here. These 5 values show up twice each in the 15 games, and so that's the mode of the data. So there we have the 3 measures of center of Stephen Curry's points scored in the 2015 Western Conference playoffs.